This is Olivia Osgood, and you are listening to the How to Quit Working Show. I'm glad that my mommy's an entrepreneur so that we get to spend lots of time together and she gets to homeschool me.
This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello and welcome to the How to Quit Working program. This is Heather Osgood, your host of the Friday episode of the How to Quit Working Show. I hope that you're doing wonderfully today, and I'm so pleased that you're here with me. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you've all had a chance to join the How to Quit Working Circle. If you join the How to Quit Working Circle, you're going to have access to our private Facebook group, which is an awesome group. It's a really good chance to just get plugged into other like-minded individuals. If you have questions, concerns, if you're feeling frustrated, or if you're feeling just really excited about what it is that you're doing here, you can jump onto the How to Quit Working Facebook group through the How to Quit Working Circle. You can also get some great free video trainings as well as an online training course, all for free. So please do make sure that you jump on to the How to Quit Working Circle. We would love to hear from you and really just be able to help you out in your journey. Now, today I want to talk to you a little bit about why it is so scary to start a business. All of us here in the How to Quit Working group are really interested in either being better entrepreneurs. Maybe we are currently business owners, or maybe you're here because you really want to start a business and you just have absolutely no idea how. So here we preach day in and day out that you should quit your jobs and you should start this wonderful lifestyle business. But it can be really, really scary. And the biggest reason it's scary is because you've never done it before. When I look back at my life, just as I'm sure you could do, I think about kind of those big scary moments, those big things that happened in my life and in my career that I felt like in some ways were insurmountable. And probably one of the scariest times for me is when I started my advertising sales career. I was in my early 20s, and I am sure that I was the youngest person there on the staff. I was also by far, at least I certainly felt like the youngest person within the business community. So day in and day out, all of the people I was talking to were significantly older than I was, and I felt like I just had no experience. I didn't know what I was doing, and I felt like just a total fish out of water. Now, what was so great about that being my job is that I had to do these scary things that I didn't like to do. And one of the scariest things for me was cold calling, picking up the phone and calling someone that I didn't know, or walking into a business of someone who I didn't know was very intimidating. And it was just one of those things where I would wake up in the morning and think, I don't want to go to work. I'm going to have to go talk to all these people I don't know, and they're also much older than I am. And it was very scary for me, but I did it. I just had to persist, and I didn't want to lose my job. I felt like I was in a good place, and I just did it. I did it over and over and over hundreds of times. And after you do something hundreds of times, you get better and better until you get good. And it was really a very pivotal place for me in my career to tackle something that felt so big and scary. So when you're thinking about starting a business and it just feels so scary and it just feels so overwhelming, I want you to realize that the only reason it feels scary and overwhelming is because you haven't done it before. And as you start a business, each time it's going to get easier and easier. Now, the reason that I talk about starting multiple businesses is because in most cases, once you've started one business, you'll realize the ease of starting other businesses, and you'll just want to do it over and over again. Have you ever seen those people who are covered from head to toe in tattoos? I hear the reason people get so many tattoos is because no one can get just one. After you get a tattoo, you have to fill your whole body. And it's kind of the same way when we're looking at entrepreneurship. Once you start one business, One isn't enough. You usually have to start more. And so if you're kind of in that position where you're like, I'm so scared, I don't know what to do, rest assured it will be easier every time you do it. And I'm guessing you're probably going to do it more than once. Now, I also want to look at kind of what our perception is of ourself. And if you're someone who has been in a career for a while and you feel very self-assured, you feel very comfortable, you feel very experienced in your current position, it can be pretty scary sometimes to try something new, and it can feel intimidating. When you're used to being perfect at everything you do within your career, or at least you're very seasoned in all of the things you do, looking at trying something different and jumping off and doing something totally unknown to you can feel really intimidating, because if you're used to feeling really in control, this is going to put you in a situation where you're really outside that comfort zone. My husband and I watched a show the other night called The Carbonaro Effect, and it was with this magician, Michael Carbonaro, and he is hilarious. He's, probably in his early 20s. He looked pretty young, and he did these crazy things. So he would pose as an employee in these different businesses, and people would come in, and he would basically convince them of something that was totally crazy. He was kind of a sleight of hand magician, so he was able to, very kind of easily manipulate these items. One that stuck in my mind was one of a customer that came into a business, and he was trying to convince her that you were able to take this full-size champagne bottle and by simply twisting the bottle, convert it and compact it down into like a 2-serving champagne bottle size. So kind of a little miniature bottle. And all you had to do was easily twist this bottle and it would compact down. And when you got to where you were going, you could twist it and it would expand again. And the idea was that you could create a smaller bottle out of a big bottle just for ease of travel. And it was absolutely hilarious because this person was really convinced that you could actually do that you could take this bottle and somehow magically shrink it and then, expand it later on. And this guy, Michael Carbonaro, is so self-assured. He's so good at talking to people and coming across to them with the message that he's communicating that everyone in all of his different skits that he showed, they all appear like, wow, I can't believe you can do that. That's pretty amazing. And I really believe that it has a lot to do with the fact that these people don't want to look foolish. They don't want to say, give me a break. Wait a minute. There is no way that that's possible. You can't do that. And so instead of just standing up and saying this isn't something you could do, they kind of go along with it. And I really think that it's because people hate to look foolish. People hate to look dumb. They hate to look like they don't know what they're doing. And if you're thinking about starting a business, you may very well be in that position where at some point you're going to have to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do what I should do. I don't know where I'm at on my path. And, I'm really just kind of navigating through and just really, not knowing what I should do or when I should do it. And I think that realistically, looking like you're foolish or looking like you're unsure, looking like you don't know what you're doing is a huge part of most people's insecurity for actually getting started. You don't want to talk to someone and have them kind of criticize you for not doing things in the right order or the proper way. And, that can just be really, really a challenge for you. Now, as we're looking at some of the other challenges that you might face, you have to look at kind of this idea that, there are many, many opportunities for you to get educated on how you should actually start your business. There are lists upon lists out there on the internet, and certainly in books. If you head to your public library, you can find all kinds of resources if you're looking for really the materials and, the direction that you need to actually start your business. So I want you to really think about that. The other thing that I want you to consider is that as you're going through this process, you may get to a place where you're like, gosh, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm not sure if I'm doing everything in the right order. But people around you will let you know. And I can guarantee you that. For instance, if you go down to the bank and you try to open a business banking account and you don't have your business license, and if you don't have your EIN, which is your employee identification number, they're going to say, I'm sorry, I can't open a bank account for you. You have to have that information first. And they will tell you where to go to get these things taken care of. So as you go along in your process and through getting this business started, you're going to encounter these, occasions where people are going to tell you whether you are or not doing things correctly. And I can assure you, with the number of businesses that are opened every day, there are going to be many people who come into the bank and say, hey, I want to open a business checking account. And the banker has to say, I'm sorry, we can't do that because you don't have the things that you need. So don't feel like you're going to be the first person in the world who is ever, going down this path. You certainly are not the first person. So I want you to really, really consider that people along the way will help guide and direct you through your path. And you certainly can, as I said, find a list of these are the things that you need to do in order to start a business. And I really want you to think about kind of making that list your own. Take the information that you find on, maybe a website, take the information you find in a book, and then really look up your specific industry and say, I want to start an online product sales business, or I want to start a blog business, or I want to start a donut shop, or I want to start a gym. Go online and look up how to start a gym, how to start a donut shop. You're going to find tons and tons and tons of information. And really, when it comes down to it, the information that you need is there. And that part of the reason that I'm not giving you a specific list right now of exactly how to start a business is because you can find that easily. Part of what we want to work on here and right now is just this expansion of who you are, opening up that opportunity for you to really take the jump into starting a business, because it isn't about what to do or how to do it. It's really about believing in yourself and believing that you have what it takes to actually create the business that you want. And really, just the logistics of getting the business started are creating these roadblocks for you. They're creating these stop gaps where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't go. I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I should do. I don't know when I should do it. And all of that kind of creates this inner turmoil where you're taking oftentimes someone who is used to being very successful, or at least very proficient in their current position in their careers or in their jobs for many years. And now you're in a position where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. I don't know when to do it. And that inner turmoil is what's really, really holding you back. So I want you to really think about the idea that it's not just about the techniques of having a list of what to do and when to do it. It's really about kind of this idea of expanding your psychology and being okay, knowing that this is the first time you've done it. You're going to make mistakes. I'm sure that you're not going to do everything 100% correct, but it's okay. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes along the way. What I really, really love about the idea of starting a business is that very few of you, if any of you listening to this right now, are heart surgeons. And if you think about it, opening a business is not hard surgery. It is not life or death. You are not going to kill someone because you make the wrong decision about how to set up your business or when to set it up or what kind of paperwork you need to get. Those are all just details. And you, as an intelligent individual, have the capacity to gather up all the information that you need to really get your business started. And I want you to just think about walking logically through what you would need to start a business. So when we look at just kind of from the paperwork and the logistics standpoint, obviously you're going to need a business license. So that's going to be number one. You're going to need all your government paperwork. So think about that. Number two, you might think about insurance, but you also need to consider what kind of work are you doing? If you're going to be doing a blog post or you're going to be, thinking about doing graphic design for someone, in most cases, people aren't going to sue you because you put out a blog post that offended them. And in most cases, if you're a graphic designer, they're not going to sue you because you didn't come up with a design that they just loved. So, think about that. Now, obviously, if you're selling something that people are going to ingest, or, you're doing something that could put people in harm's way, then of course the level of insurance you're going to need is going to be higher. And in almost every case across the board, you're going to need some sort of insurance to operate your business. So you might want to think about that, meeting with an insurance agent to say, hey, what kind of liability insurance do I need? Obviously, if you're operating an online business, the insurance levels are going to be totally different than if you have a brick and mortar business. So think about that. That's something you might want to consider. Next, if you are thinking maybe you are going to have a contract that people are going to sign, you might want to have an attorney review that. You might want to get an attorney's perspective on what type of business should you open in terms of the entity. Should you be a sole proprietor? Should you be an LLC, or maybe a C Corp or an S Corp? What's going to make most sense for you? So an attorney could be useful in those areas. An attorney might be able to point out to you the areas of your business where maybe there is more liability than you're used to and encountering, or maybe you just have no idea where the liability areas are in your business and you'd like to have an attorney point that out to you. So that could be a possibility. Most cases, though, those are just the really easy, simple steps that you need to take to get a business started. And if you're someone who's like, gosh, I don't even know how to get an insurance agent, that's easy. There's tons of insurance agents out there. Go down to your city, go down to your county, and tell them you want to start a business and you need to know, how do you get your business license? What should you do for that? If you are like, I have no idea how to get an attorney, isn't that going to cost me, $20,000? It won't cost you that much. I can guarantee it. There are definitely resources for online attorneys that can help you. And then think about talking to people where are the affordable attorneys who might have, the availability to review a contract and make changes. If you frequent maybe a small business in town, ask the business owner, hey, do you have an attorney and who do you use? Really think about just doing a little bit of work, because really, really that's all it takes, is just kind of this idea of coming up with a plan. And in most cases, like I said, it's kind of this inner turmoil, this concern or this worry that you really don't know what it is that you're doing and that you're going to be found out. And, that is one of the scariest parts about being in business, is that in most cases, even if you have an MBA, you are not going to necessarily always feel like you are really qualified to create the business that you're creating. And the truth of the matter is that you are 100% qualified for doing the business that you're creating, because you're the creator of the business and you can do whatever you want. And your customers have a choice to purchase from you or not to purchase from you. And so I just really want you to feel empowered to take this step to actually create your business, because you can do it. It's not about all of the little details. I can tell you that as you go along in business, you are going to, as I said, make mistakes. You're going to have times where you're like, oh man, I was supposed to have filed that document and I totally didn't. Or, I've had it happen to me more than once where all of a sudden you get this letter from the government saying, hey, didn't you know you were supposed to file X, Y, and Z on this date and you didn't, and now you've got this penalty fee of $200 or whatever it is. And is that fun? Of course not. It's horrible. But in most cases, it's one of those learning lessons where you're like, okay, now I know I'm going to have to pay this on a regular basis. Or now I know that, once a quarter, once a year, once every couple of years, I'm going to have this issue that I need to take care of. And that's just the type of stuff that is going to, come about. Depending on your industry, you might have some specific licensing that you need. And all that takes is just a little bit of research, talking to other people within your industry, and really just finding out what you need to know to actually get started. What I'd like you to really do to make this something tangible is I'd like for you to create a list of all the things that you need to do to start your business. And I want you to take it from a very tactical standpoint right now. So I want you to just make a list of all these things that you need to do. And if you have no idea where to start, I want you to go online and I just want you to Google how to start a business, or Google how to start your specific industry's company, and then take the list you have. And like I said, merge those lists together, because I'm sure you're going to look at more than one, and create a step-by-step list. Talk to all of the different entities that you need to talk to. Go down to the government agencies, the city, the county, whatever it may be, the state level. Talk to those individuals. Talk to the insurance agent. Talk to an attorney. Talk to a bookkeeper or CPA. Think about all of the resources that are available for you. There are lots and lots of resources, and they don't all have to cost an arm and a leg. And if you have never done any of this stuff and you've never reached out before, I just want you to really believe in yourself that this is your dream. You're here to accomplish this, and it's really, really not nearly as hard as it seems. I have found that oftentimes when you approach someone and you say, you know what, this is the first time I'm doing this. I've never started a business before. Do you have any advice that you think I might, benefit from hearing? People will love to hear that question. They deal with new business owners all the time, and they deal with seasoned business owners all the time. And some of these professionals can give you more information about how to run a successful business than any of your relatives can, for sure, or any of the friends that you may be talking to. Once they know that you're in a position and you're really open and willing to learn, they'll be more than happy to help you through the process. Even if it's somebody at the government, even if it's somebody, maybe at your city hall in the department that's going to help you with your business license filing, tell them, say, gosh, I'm new to this. I've never done this. Could you help me out? And people will help you. Part of what you need to do is just be willing to ask and really think about how you can approach the situation with just an open kind of mind to the process, and really just thinking, how am I learning through this? And if I were going to do this again, how would I do it a second time? So that you kind of grasp the process that you're going through. And then I want you to just really, really think about the idea again that no one is going to die from this. And in most cases, your business won't even be negatively affected. And if it is negatively affected, in most cases, it is very minor. It is really, really just the expansion of your psychology. It isn't the tactics of getting the job done. It's you stepping up and stepping out and saying, I'm willing to really create this business, and taking these first steps to legally create your company. They're huge steps, because once you have this real company, this legitimate organization that has a business license and has a bank account and has insurance and has all that kind of fun stuff, it's going to give you a level of security to feel like you can step out and you can do it. Now, if you are a person sitting there saying, I don't feel like I need any of that, like I'm just ready to go, I'm ready to jump in, you can also look at how you can start your business in, a much smaller capacity, just selling a product or service to friends and family. And that can be a really good way to jump out and get your business started without kind of all of the in-depth paperwork that needs to happen. Now, obviously, it is important for you to always operate a business with a business license. It's important for you to obviously pay your taxes correctly, and, to make sure that you have any of your contracts or your insurance or, your licensing. All of that is very important to get in order. So please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do any of that, but I just want to make sure that you feel the freedom to just jump out and do it. And if you're in a position where maybe you're afraid of getting your business started, even really just starting out by saying, hey, maybe you have a relative or maybe you have a friend who you could do some, free work for, just to get your feet wet, just to kind of get you to a place where you feel like it's, acceptable and you have this ability to actually start the business that you want to start. There are lots and lots of possibilities out there. So I want you to really, really just take that into consideration and know that you have what it takes to start a business. And right now, if you're not feeling equipped to get your business started, that means that you need to have a plan in place. You need to have a plan in place, and then you need to work that plan. And, that's just such a huge, huge part to your success. If you wake up in the morning and you're like, I have no idea what to do today. I want to get this business up. I want it to be successful. I want to do all the things that I need to do to get it there, but I just don't know what I'm doing. That can create a lot of deep anxiety in you and a deep sense of fear that you really aren't going to be able to get this company off the ground. So it is imperative that you create a list of all the things that need to happen for you to get your business done. This list isn't designed so that you feel overwhelmed or behind, like you're never going to get everything done. That certainly is not the idea of it. The idea is to break them up into small, meaningful steps so that every day you are making a move in the right direction. You're actually headed to the correct destination, or at least in the direction of your dreams. And if you're not taking action day by day, or at least significant action every week, you're never really going to get to where it is that you want to be. So it's very, very important for you to really internalize the process and own the process. You have to have a higher level of dedication to creating this business than anybody else has. Because if you don't have the level of dedication, it's not going to happen. And if you are allowing the legal paperwork, if you're allowing the licensing, if you're allowing the taxes, any of those things to get in your way, I am here to tell you those are simply roadblocks that you are creating. None of it is difficult. None of it is hard. Some of it may take some time, but that's part of the equation. You do have to step through the process and walk in the process every day to get to your final destination. So as we really just take a look at where you're at in your company, I want you to really, really think about your ability to create the business that you want. Know that you have the confidence and be okay in a place of confidence, knowing that you don't know all of the things that maybe you should know or that you would like to know. And be okay with that, because it's all right not to have the answer to everything. And you can still have a level of confidence and self-assuredness in the company that you know you're going to create in that product or service, which is where your confidence really should lie. Now, if you're at a place where you're like, Heather, everything you've just said has just totally gone over my head. I really have no idea what you're talking about. I still feel really frustrated, overwhelmed. I'm not sure how to start my business. I really want to get started and I don't know what to do. I'm just asking you right now, just reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. You're more than welcome to give me a call. You're more than welcome to email me. I talk to hundreds of people every week, and I would say at least half of the people I talk to say, I want to start a business, but I just don't know how. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to get from this goal, this dream that I have, to the actual creation of my business. And so if you're in that place, if you're feeling like, I just have no idea really what the basics are or how to get started, I would love to help you through that process. In the How to Quit Working program, that is specifically what we specialize in. We specialize in helping you create the business that you want to create. So if you're a person and you're like, I don't know what kind of business I want to start. I don't know what my tasks are. I don't know what my skills are. I don't know what tasks I would need to accomplish to actually get a business created. That's what we can really help you with. We can help you really dive into who you are, what your passions are, what your skills are, and help you create a business. It's not about finding that one perfect idea that is going to catapult you to be, the millions and billions of dollars that wait for you out there. It's really about helping you to find that passion point in your life. Each and every one of us has many, many different businesses that reside within our passion, our skills, and really just our life processes. So I know that you can start any number of businesses and be a huge success. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with you to find that right business that is going to be a good start for you to really get you to that place of your dreams. And in the coaching, we'll be able to really discover who you are, what your passions are, what your skill levels are, and then really decide, is that a marketable product or skill that you have? And can we actually sell it to someone? Because if we can't sell the product, doesn't matter how great it is, doesn't matter how terrific your service is if no one will buy it. So that's a really, really important part for us as well, is really identifying the marketability and sellability of your business ideas or concepts. So in the coaching, we'll work with you on that. And I can tell you step by step what you should do, when you should do it, how you should do it. So if you're just feeling like you're totally overwhelmed, you're totally lost, you really want to take action, but you're not sure what to do, please do reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. Have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful day, and I'm looking forward to talking to you next week. Take care.
Thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.